Pastor Derek Reimer over in Canada remains behind bars today, charged with hate-motivated crimes. He was arrested on Thursday after protesting a drag queen story time at a library in Calgary. And Pastor Derek was, I'm going to play for you this video. He was physically thrown out of the library. All of this caught on tape as he was protesting exposing kids to drag queens. Interestingly enough, I don't think that there are any assault charges on the men who physically assaulted him. Watch.
Voice memo. Okay, we don't have our cameras up.
We are now calling the police. Stop. We have the police coming, so it is your choice to leave or deal with the police.
Very abusive in there.
We are going
For
to...
love is love.
Hey,
that looks
guys.
like very hateful, very abusive.
You're disrupting the program.
It's in there.
Because it's wicked. The children shouldn't be in there. That's for sure.
Now, I want to play the moment that he was arrested, but this was only after the mayor pushed for his arrest. And okay, Ezra, tell me the Calgary mayor's name.
Jyoti Gondek.
Jyoti Gondek. So she.
It's a woman.
She went to her Twitter account, right, and pushed for.
So after that library incident, if any, I don't know if any charges should be laid there, but if anyone should be laid, it's the three guys manhandling the pastor.
Right.
There were no charges laid against anyone. The mayor specifically demanded charges against the pastor. When the cops didn't do it, she took to Twitter and ranted, "I'm sick of the, quote, reasons I'm told that this can't happen." It was like a 5-part Twitter rant demanding that he be arrested. And sure enough, the police went to his home and arrested him. We had a cameraman standing by. It was like 4 cops to arrest a pastor for what? He didn't lay hands on anyone. He heckled at a drag queen event, and he's in prison to this day. Take a look.
Watch.
Why do we need to talk about it?
Because you're going to be arrested for it and charged.
Hello?
Derek?
Yeah, hi.
Derek, I'm calling from Mass News CPS. Can we talk about what happened on the weekend?
Why are you showing up at my home?
So
Why are you showing up at my home?
Because this is where you live, right?
Yeah, you could call me and we could...
So what was that?
You could have called me.
I've been trying to.
When?
This morning.
What time is it? No, she's okay.
Okay. We need to talk about what happened on the weekend this evening, right?
Why do we need to talk about it?
Because you're going to be arrested for it and charged.
Okay.
So we can go deal with it this morning, or I can just put warrants out for you.
Charged with what?
Mischief and causing a disturbance.
Okay, let me get dressed.
Okay. You good with that?
Just give me a minute, okay?
Yeah, you betcha. Thanks, pal.
I'm good. I'm gonna put on the for Sunday morning.
You mind if I ask you what he's being arrested for?
Are you going to provide your identification?
Pardon?
Will you provide your ID?
It's for you to answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just ask, if people want to help you, where do they go?
They can go and contact Rebel. They're providing me with a lawyer. This is what happens when we go against the Drake.
Unbelievable. Now, I have a personal issue with this because, Ezra, I don't know if you know this, but I run an initiative here in Texas that focuses on the sexualization of children, and we go into these drag shows and expose the children that are at these all ages drag shows and how horrible they are. And so my biggest complaint with people has been, I need more of you to come out and do exactly what that pastor did. I need you to stand up. I need you to tell them this is wrong. I need you to be loud. I need you to not break any laws. I need it all to be peaceful, but we need more people actually interrupting these things. And now these damn Canadian law enforcement officers have arrested this guy, and my people are going to think that that's going to come in America soon, so we better not stand up and speak out because we might be arrested just like that pastor in Canada.
I think that pastor will eventually be exonerated because...
But who wants to go through all of that?
Well, exactly. The process is the punishment.
Yes.
And by the way, in Canada, it is extremely easy to get bail. In Canada, some accused terrorists have been given bail. Most murderers are given bail. So for a Christian pastor to be denied bail, he's in prison right now, and he'll be in jail for at least 13 days before his hearing for heckling? That's not a crime. Heckling is not a crime. Disturbing the peace. I don't know anyone who served 13 days pre-trial for heckling. And I think he will be vindicated in the end, but he can't. This is about, as the French would say, encourager les autres, to teach a lesson to the others. Look at this guy. You don't want to be him. Don't you? Unless you want to spend 13 days in jail, unless you want to spend 50 grand in legals, unless you want to be humiliated, don't you try that. What he's being charged with will fail, I believe. The mayor calling for his arrest, I think, poisoned the arrest because it's so clearly political. That said, the cops are going along with it. And look at how they weave into our cameraman. I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm going to block you. What's your ID? You're asking, what country do you think we're in? But I think that, I mean, I want to love most cops. I'm pro-cop. But when I see things like this, it makes it tougher for me to be pro-cop.
Us too.
We've had this conversation, it's getting more and more and more difficult to be supportive of law enforcement when you pull this kind of stuff.
When they get political.
We saw it with the mask mandates, arresting families, taking families out of restaurants, because they weren't wearing a mask. We saw this stuff, the enforcement of it. Now this. And you see how quickly it can change with the flip of a switch. And to Ezra's point, and you're exactly right, Sarah, they're not going to want to do it because, again, they're being made an example out of.
Right. So how do we change it?
The elites do not want to be called out. This mayor does not want anything that is going to upset the apple cart in her community. So she had to drum up some charges. The mayor, is a she?
It's a she.
Okay, she had to drum up some charges somehow. They're very subjective.
And the police originally resisted and said no. And when she made a public fuss about it, you'd think, well, they would say, well, there's no way we can do it now. Well, they went ahead and did it now. I think the most important thing is that he wins and that he is acquitted of these charges. So hopefully it won't happen again. That's the most important thing. But I think you've got to win this battle, not just in the court of law, but in the court of public opinion. You've got to remind people that there is no such thing as a human right not to be offended. And frankly, I think what was going on in that room in the library there was as offensive as anything that pastor heckled. But what you see is the capture of our institutions by woke activists. And what's so shocking is this transgenderism wasn't even a thing 10 years ago. I don't know if you remember, you're not old enough, but there was a movie called Tootsie about 30 years ago starring Dustin Hoffman, who played a guy dressed up as a gal. And it was such an oddity, and it was such but all of a sudden it is so mainstream. Quick story, I was in Oxford, the UK the other day. Oxford, an amazing university, like really one of the pillars. It's like the Harvard. In fact, I think it predates Harvard. And you're in this university. It's a gorgeous, ancient, medieval university. And the only flags I saw, I did not see any Union Jacks flying. This is the heart. I didn't see any Cross of St. George, the English flag. I saw 3 transgender flags and then an old-fashioned pride flag on Balliol College, on these ancient, that's your flag? And I'm not saying you can't fly a flag, but is that the essence of who you are? That's who you define yourself as. And I go into the bookstore in Oxford, and it's an amazing bookstore. And there's a wall of transgender. Is that the most important intellectual force at this crucible of learning, forming every British Prime Minister goes to Oxford, just about every bloody one of them. And this is the most important thing they must learn, not Chaucer, not Shakespeare, not science, transgender, the flag, what? That's this, how did that happen in the blink of an eye? I don't know how that happened.
If you like that clip, there is plenty more where that came from. Click the link in the description below to subscribe to the News and Why It Matters YouTube channel to watch the full episode.